to Baghdad, and he met Pestilence on the way. And he met Pestilence, and he was a little nervous. He said, "Where goest thou, Pestilence?" He said, "I'm going to the city to take 5,000 lives." When he got to the city, 50,000 people was dead. On the way back, he met Pestilence. He said, "Pestilence, you lied to me. You said you was going to the city and take 5,000 lives. When I got there, 50,000 people was dead." And Pestilence said, "I, Pestilence, took 5,000 lives. Fear killed the rest." Well, it's 10 times as bad, the fear. So for us, this is a unique period, and people are not taking this as a religious, scriptural period. They're taking it as a quarantine, as a such and such. Right? But it's training. This period is a trip. This period has the whole, see, if you go to the prison house every now and then, you're used to the prison locking down. We lock it down the penitentiary. Ain't nobody coming to the yard, and it may be for a month, a year. They're locking you down till they get ready to unlock it. Now, can you imagine the whole world is on lockdown? This is scriptural stuff. This only happens, see, everybody read about pestilence in the Bible, wars and rumors of war, floods of biblical proportions, right? They don't associate none of this. When Houston, when you see them seagoing boats going down the street, they don't. This is, you can take some of them boats. Anybody remember some of them boats? Some of those were seaworthy. You could go out on the ocean on some of them boats. So they had a draft of at least 6 or 7 feet. They was going down the street in Houston, right? Rescuing people. And people were just saying, oh, but they wasn't aligning this stuff up with Scripture. Remember all the tragedies at the end of time, at every changeover of some dispensation, especially biblically, it's always some explosion or some Sodom and Gomorrah, some type of event, right? World event. Those are religious, those are signs. Can you imagine how blind the people have to be if they don't see, if this ain't no sign? Just global lockdown, we do it every month. That's common. You ain't never heard of it. And it has all, the fall of Babylon, all those things are in there, you know. You think I'm diving and read the fall of Babylon, the last book in Revelations 3. Yeah, I think it's Revelation 3, something like that. 18:3. 18, and you read put all the panic of all the traders, and they was wearing sackcloth and ashes. And one time they wearing purple and satin robes, and now, since the big boy Babylon is falling, all the people that did business with it is crashing too, right? And it has, you won't find any better rendition of a financial collapse than you will in Revelation 18. There's nothing in any book that's that deep, but it's that clear. The Quran breezes over many, but it don't, on that particular thing, exactly what the people do, the Bible is clear on that subject. When John was carried away in the whirlwind, maybe he was eating mushrooms or peyote or something, because Revelations is, it's just a little different. But hey, man, you could say he was tripping. But that, hey, man, it bring you up to 7 seals and all the horns and all that. I said, boy, that boy was stretched out. But on this, all the people, you seen the stock market lately? Don, this is from God. Why? Because this clown, I don't care what his niyyah is. When he get up and speak, he got up to speak today. The stock market was at around 13 or 1400, and it went down to 2,000 something, and then it just creeped back up after he finished talking. That boy is a professional at dipping the stock market. It don't make no difference. We're going to put $2 trillion, we're going to fatten everybody, we're going to give everybody, because they know he's lying. He don't stabilize, he destabilizes. There's nothing he can do about it. He don't understand. The poor mayor of New York, not the mayor, the governor of New York, was on TV outlining what they're going to do yesterday and today. What he was trying to do was show Donald Trump, you are the president, these are the things you have legal right and responsibility to do. What I'm doing right now. And finally, old Don talked about it first, then he said, I sure want to thank you, I'm going to send you some hospital ships, one on the West Coast, one on the... Don don't know what to do, and he don't even know. Well, what authority? He don't call nobody and say, what authority do I have? What is the policy? He just run his mouth. And if the stock market, he done wiped out everything. When Obama came, he's now back to that. He's back to that, and it ain't no bottom yet. Don't start talking about, well, we gonna, because every time they open their mouth, they might blow it up for about one day, that boy head back down. If they hold it up for 1,000 or 1,500 today, it's going down 2,000 tomorrow. I've been watching, it goes like that specifically. Okay, so what are we saying? We're alive during this period. This is a period of destabilization, it's a period of panic. You might think it's a period that's hooked up for us, basically. Because we're the only ones that have any plan for all of this period. Okay, so then why would we be moving right along with our target dates and everything to where, for instance, that we want to incorporate the people who have been sabotaging and destroying, trying to destroy what we're doing? Well, we know them. And they know us. Technically, they're the people to go for, because the people that have witnessed what's going on, whether they work against it or not, we know who they are, and they know who they have studied us in detail. They studied us to try to destroy us. Not only them or him, I'm telling you, the whole team. The whole United States government team. That means, if that's true, that means that we have survived more than any 10, 15, 20 groups all together have ever. Why? Because of the other stuff. Those other two periods were preparation for this. So, they kill everybody else with girls, with money, with cars, with anything. They buy Negroes with Negroes. They buy Negro, and white folks too, with trinkets, flashy stuff. Yeah, it ain't no big price. Why is it no big price? Because ain't nobody, you don't see nobody Negro billionaire except the kind that Marion Barry gave a few big contracts. Some of them big Negroes got over. At least that's what they said at the funeral. One guy, they said he had $4 billion. He said when Marion Barry became the mayor, he asked us up in New York, what do they give y'all up there? I said, well, we get basically peanuts. He said, come on down here. You got it all. So Marion Barry, when they buried him, tell the truth. Hey man, you would have thought they was burying Saint Barry, right? And he's the only mayor or the politician in D.C. that had an open to come here and say whatever you want to say. He's just a relative, you know what I mean? Not to change the subject, but that guy was like Uncle Marion or cousin. I mean, he get arrested for such and such, that the blankety blank set me up. When he go to the joint, he's working in the powerhouse, and he sat in the visitor room like all other Negroes with the lady sitting on his lap having sex. This guy refuses to cooperate with the system. So cooperating with him was not cooperating with the system. This is the way I looked at it. Because whatever he was doing, when I got to D.C. 30 years ago, a little more, I really liked it. I said, man, you know, well, what do you need, brother? I said, I just need some tags on my car. It'll be $35. How many do you want? You know, with the tags, with the inspections down there. The whole thing was like South America, like Africa, you know what I mean? You buy everything. Nobody cared anything about. They was the white man's rules, right? Tell the truth. They was the white man's rules, and didn't nobody care, and wasn't nobody checking on you. You know, it was free for all. And then they brought these other people in here, anyway, that made life miserable where you can't get away with nothing. You know, you gotta pay all that. Anyway, so here we are in this period of pestilence. This is also a period of panic. It's a period of people don't know what to do. They don't know what to expect. They don't know what to do. This is the time and the type of period to lend our assistance. And the Oakland story, we're going to all the research institutes and historical societies, you know, even Black history, all them people, we're going to call them out. If what we just said is true, why nobody ever talks about it? Why don't nobody know about it? And see, remember, we got everything categorized. And when we talk about Africa and other places, they better hurry up because we got a couple of people that's still alive from those days. If not, we still got statements that those things are true. Those things really happened. Okay? And the attitude is related to several subjects, but Tazkiyah bil Nafs, the purification of the nafs. When you can do everything that they think will trap you and not get trapped because you happen to outgrow it or you've outgrown it, that's a major blessing. Including things like peer group pressure, you know what I mean? And you just look at it like it ain't nothing, because technically it is nothing. So to be brief, we're going to challenge all the people. We're going to challenge them to eat. What are you talking about? You're a black da-da-da-da-da type organization, and you don't know about this? Did it happen or didn't it? Now this. Is this happening? Is this real? Of course, we're going to say what it is. We don't care what they say. We're going to say what it is. All the people, they're going to have to explain historically why they do or why they did what they did. But at the same time, we're offering like when people turn away from that foolishness, that's good. And when they turn toward Allah, both of them mean tawbah. That's good. That's good. So, I don't know, like whether all the things that have happened to us was for a specific reason. That's what I'm saying. For a specific reason. We arrived where we are for a specific reason. We've tried to go around and, with certain types of kindness, but our job has been what we thought it would be. Our job is to educate and train the people on the possibilities of transformational behavior, which we're talking about as Islam, but also nonviolent resistance and what it is. Nonviolent resistance is not pacifism. Spiritual jihad is not avoiding the point. It's fighting with the best thing God gave you. That's all it is. It's strategic management under conditions of repression. It's all of those things. So basically we're saying it's our duty, it's our responsibility, and it's our privilege to do this. Not only because of King and Malcolm and all the other people went before us, they didn't have a chance. They didn't have a chance to do nothing. They didn't have a chance. Can you imagine longevity? Just think about over 50 years to study Boss Man. Of course, he's studying you. But the thing about him, you know what he thinks about you. And you know what he thinks, or what vision you might have of him. What he thinks that you think. Because he done made you, and all the niggas act like I developed them. It's 1 in a million that's going to challenge him on his own basis. Man to man. Toe to toe. You use brute force, sabotage, double dealing, and we use a spiritual jihad. And we win every time. We have been winning every time. So, that means that we have to incorporate, we have to educate the people on what they did, what they've been doing, what type of people they are. If one type of person has basically been insecure, and that's the reason a lot of people deal with the system, because they're insecure, they're afraid of poverty, afraid of this, afraid of that. So they deal with Boss Man because Boss Man promises them security. That's the main reason all the Negroes go to every school in town, big ones, and they don't go for themselves. They go downtown. 95% of them go downtown and get a old raggedy briefcase type job, you know, like they're executive, like with that for the city. And the only extra money they can get is if they steal. They're civil servants. They're civil servants. The most boring job, not that I did have a job in 1966, last job I had. And I worked a whole year. I got out of prison. I actually liked work because I was working in jail for nothing. And then I got out and I got paid $3 an hour and $4.50 for time and a half. Shoot, I was working anytime, double shifts. I wanted to work a triple shift, and the foreman said, you can't work 24 hours, 16. I was working 16 hours every time they come up. Why? Because I was getting paid. And people thought I was hustling because I had, in a year's time, I had 11 pair of shoes and clothes and everything. And everybody else been working all their life and they didn't have nothing. Well, I saved my money and stuff like that. But anyway, all our people, they're civil servants. But they don't know why they're civil servants. They think they know why. They think they're civil servants because stability, stable. The white man puts you in the civil service, he puts you on a job, he puts you in the army for stability, and he put a police uniform on you. The most unstable thing. You could go walk out the street and get shot. Most of the people, their wives leave them. Their children don't want to talk to them. Why? Because they make, that's an unstable what? The wife is up every night, the guy may get blown away. And if he do, they're going to wrap up his old flag and hand her an old raggedy flag. Right? Whether it's the army or the police, and shoot off the guns. Them people are crazy. They promise you security, but they've sent you overseas to shoot up everybody, and everybody's shooting up at you and trying to blow you up, right? They promise you security. And they're putting you in the most insecure job that exists. And if you live, fine. Well, it's not fine. You're going to be one of the 22 that kill themselves every day because they go over there and they see, man, them people lied to me. You know, they go over and they see, man, this is real. They say, man.